Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the next Muunilinst MOC Update video. And in this episode, I'll be modifying and fixing up a few things from the previous episodes in the battlefield, and I also will be starting on a new section of the build, kind of this little entrance to the city. I start on that near the end of the video, so very exciting episode, and without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so before I get into the building updates, I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to everybody who commented and left feedback or ideas on the last update video. I got so many awesome ideas and feedback from you guys regarding the debris field, the MOC overall, and the trench design itself, so a huge shout out to everyone who came up with awesome ideas and feedback. I read through all of them, I considered all of them, I tried a couple things out. I really sat down and thought about everything you guys said and tried to take that into consideration before I moved on to this episode. So I just wanted to give a quick moment and a huge thank you to all of you guys who left comments and feedback. It really means a lot, and it did actually help me. It helped me a lot before I went into recording this episode. So first thing that I did that I want to talk about is the trench. So if you remember the trench from last episode, I did change up the design, so we probably should talk about that. So there were two main designs from last video that I kind of tried out, and I had like mixed responses from people on which design they liked better. Some people liked one design, some people liked the other design. So I was going back and forth on what to try. Ultimately, what I did was the trench was over here last episode. I moved it back to fit in with the rest of these terrain because I'm not really going to be able to extend the battlefield anymore, I don't think. So I had to move the trench back. Second thing I did was I tried the first design. I tried to redo it with the sand green and the dark gray, and I tried to redo it and set it up in a little bit of a different way, as you can see, and tried to make it fit best I could into the trench. Now, the reason I kind of did this was ultimately I really liked the design of this one with the sand green and dark gray. I liked the other design too, and a lot of people liked it as well, so I might go back to it, but I just wanted to try one more time to see what this design looked like. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it does look pretty, it looks good. I do like it. I was able to make it fit in a way that I'm okay with, and I personally think looks good. Curious to see if you guys think this looks better than the previous trench design. I'm starting to lean towards this one. It's not completely finished yet, but I feel like this fits really well, and it's kind of what I originally wanted to do last episode, but I wasn't able to do. So here's kind of an update of the trench. I feel like the trench is going to be the next just kind of joke of the series, where like I update it, like every update I just go back to the trench and tell you guys I have a new design. So I just feel like this trench design is going to change a lot, but I am happy with this design right here for now. And I was able to maintain the same curve that I wanted. That was one worry from last episode, was the curvature and angle of the trench. It still has that curve and the angle, and now it's kind of got that sand green look, which I really do like. So for now, I'm going to kind of leave the trench like this. I'm liking it so far. We'll see if it changes, so I just went up to you guys real quick to let you know that I did change the trench design to something different, just because I was curious to see if I could make this trench design work. So that was kind of the first quick thing I wanted to update you guys on, was this trench design. Let me know what you think. I don't know, just we're going to leave the trench alone for now because I'm okay with where it's at right now, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of the episode. Something else that I added in was another piece of debris right there. As you can see, I added another column and a bunch of more 1x1 bricks, 1x1 plates and stuff like that around the outside. So now we have two matching over here, and then we've got the other one down over here. You guys saw I added that debris piece last episode, so I think I want to add one more debris piece, one or two more. I think I want to add another one of those somewhere over in this area right here, so it's just kind of filled out a little bit, and then I'll probably keep the middle open for now because that's where the speeder bike chase is going to happen. But I think I want to add one more thing of debris, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright guys, quick update. I have added in another piece of debris. You can see there on the right side right there. So now we've got two on this side. So there's those two, and then if we pull back this way up at the front, we've got two more down here for pieces of debris. And now a quick look at the whole battlefield right here, what we've got going so far with all of the pieces of debris and the actual trench itself. Looking pretty good. Battlefield's looking good. I think there's going to be some small modifications, probably most if not every episode I'll probably add in some sort of small new modification to the battlefield, but for now this is what we're looking at, and I'm definitely liking it so far. You guys seem to like the road, or the kind of floor ground design. You guys seem to like that, which was really good to hear. I was kind of wondering what you guys would think about that. You guys seem to like it, so that is really good. I'm liking it too. And here's all the pieces of debris that I've got so far, and then the trench over here that I worked on last episode and a little bit of this episode. and then the middle is going to be wide open so we can have our speeder bike charges. One thing that I just remembered, I had suggestions from a few people, I'll put their comments on screen, to have some crash speeder bikes all over the place, and that can be something the clones and droids take cover behind. So I think that's something I definitely want to add in there, are some crashed speeder bikes, so we can have some more stuff that the troops and infantry can take cover behind. But yeah, here's what we're looking at for the battlefield so far. All right, so what's gonna be the next thing we work on? So battlefield looking pretty good. And next, I guess naturally we'd move to the city. I don't want to start on the city area yet. There is one thing that I want to add in there that I just thought of a couple days ago that I really want to add to the build. It's in Muunilinst. I'll put a screenshot of it right now. We see the gunship that the ARC troopers are on. They kind of fly under it, or fly through it. And it's like this entrance to the city with a bunch of pillars and kind of a straight road and stuff like that. And it's kind of like the secret entrance or the back entrance to the city. Technically, it won't be 100% accurate to have it out here because the main battle did not go through the main entrance, or the main battle with all the speeder bikes didn't happen near the entrance. The entrance was like on the opposite side of the city where the ARC troopers snuck in. But I think it'd be such a cool thing to have in LEGO. I really want to put it kind of where those clone troopers are. I really want to have it go battlefield, entrance to the city, and then we keep our same plan of destroyed buildings and then full-on buildings in the back. But I really want to try this secret entrance that you see in the show because I think it has such a cool design, and I really want to try it in LEGO, even though it won't be entirely accurate to what you see in terms of geography for the battle. This is kind of a creative splice up, so all the parts of Muunilinst that I really enjoy, I want to make sure to have in here. So I want to try to do this entrance. We're going to see if it works or not. I'll try to put a screenshot so you guys can know what I'm talking about, but that's what I'm going to try for the rest of this episode, is try to start to do some sort of entrance right here in the middle of the build right here. Some giant kind of pillars and columns and a little road that'll lead into the actual city itself. So I'm going to go ahead and try that, and we're going to see what happens. That is the current plan. Let's see what happens. Alright guys, so I have started to work on the kind of entrance to the city here. As you can see, I have extended from the battlefield that you guys saw previously, and now we're kind of onto this middle section that's starting to go into the city, and you can see I've tiled it up with a couple of different colors here, light gray and dark gray. I wanted to start getting some light gray color in here since the battlefield's mostly dark gray, and got some clone troopers in there to show you guys the scale so far, but this is kind of just the ground design that I'm going with. I might change a little bit of it up, but this is kind of the general idea. And then I've got some kind of pillar things along the outside up there and over here. In the screenshot from the actual show, you can see these little kind of rectangle, I don't even know, like box type things that were on the side of the walkway. So that's what kind of these are supposed to represent. So I've got 3 of those, got some clone troopers on there, got the ground pattern down. I wanted to do tiles instead of snot technique because I need to save my bricks for the buildings in the city. Next are some pillars. I need to do some pillars. So from the screenshot, there's a bunch of pillars there, and they're absolutely crazy because, like, since it's like a 2D show, they went all out on scale and like designs of how big everything is. So I'm not going to be able to go that crazy with the pillars, and I'm not going to be able to do that many. There's a lot of pillars in that screenshot, so I'm going to do like just the entrance part. So I think probably like 2 pillars and then like some sort of archway or entrance, something like that. Alright guys, so I spent a long time trying to figure this out. I went through many designs, none of which really were working out too well. I didn't really document them because I was just in my mindset of just building and trying to figure it out. Went through a bunch of designs with lots of different slopes, light gray slopes and inverted slopes, all sorts of stuff. Finally came up with this design, which is essentially using tiles and modifieds, attaching the tiles to modified bricks and sticking them out from the side to kind of have them stick out a layer. So that's kind of what I've got going so far. Not the best design, but trust me when I say I pretty much spent my whole day trying to like go through all these different designs whenever I had free time, trying to make it work, and this is what I've got so far. And here's what it looks like from a wide shot right here. I think the pillars work pretty good for now. One thing to keep in mind, especially when I'm trying to keep the budget fairly low, even though this is probably going to end up having to spend a lot of money on figures, and once we get to the city area, that's probably going to require some extra spending. But for these large scale MOCs, since they're so large, I really try to, on a lot of the designs, you try to find a compromise with having a really good detailed design, but not using all of my resources on one part of the build. That's a big thing. That's kind of a challenge with the large scale MOC, because you have to cover a lot of ground, but you want to make a lot of stuff detailed. So you kind of got to find that compromise of making stuff super detailed but not using up all of your parts in one corner of the MOC. So that's something I had to keep in mind here when working on these pillars, because a couple designs I just used way too many bricks, and I was like, well, I need a lot of these parts for the city. I can't afford to use up all my parts here on this entryway. So this is what I came up with. I think it works for now. Next thing I'm going to try to work on is some sort of archway. In the screenshot, you can see they have like statues of like the Munes is like I think the species, so they have statues of themselves on there. That would be interesting. I don't know if I'll be able to get to that this episode, like trying to make a statue out of like a brick built statue. That sounds interesting, but also very difficult and might take up its own episode, so I don't know. Not sure if I'll do that in this episode or not, but essentially what I want to do is figure out some way to make an entrance and then fill out the rest of this empty gap space that you see in the back with some more tiles and groundwork. But yep, this is what the entrance is looking like so far. I'm going to do a couple more things to try to clean it up a little bit, and then I'll update you guys once I have some more progress. Alright guys, so this is what I've started to work on with the archway here. You can see I've used a lot of slopes, some inverted slopes here, and I kind of connected them all kind of overhanging this little archway right here, and then filled in some of the gaps with a few bricks and some tiles and plates, and this is kind of the look that I got here. So I think this actually looks pretty cool for like kind of a little archway here using the inverted slopes in this way. I haven't really done that before, but I come using them like opposite of each other, and it actually worked out fairly well, so I am happy with that. And I added in some sand green in there as well. I might actually add in some more sand green, so I might replace the dark gray with sand green. That might look a little better. I'm not sure, we'll see, but here's kind of what I got going for the archway so far. Alright guys, so I went back in, touched a few things up, and this is looking a lot better now, and I'm definitely really liking it a lot more. I'm more enthusiastic than I was for the last couple of clips here, but I've set up some figures here of kind of what exactly this is supposed to look like. You can see I added in some sand green up top now. I think the sand green really makes this area pop a little more, just because adding more sand green is, I think, good, because the city will have a lot of sand green, but I think the battlefield also needs to have a good amount of sand green, so I've been trying to put that in here as much as I can while still making it look good. I filled in the rest of the tiles, so now everything is kind of in this little square area is filled up, and then this is kind of what we got for troops right now. We got some guys trying to push up right now, and they're able to use a lot of these pillars and stuff for cover, which is like going to be very prominent in this MOC with all these pillars and everything. That's kind of going to be a lot of pieces of cover for the clones, or all these pillars and everything like that. And of course, General Kenobi leading his men up in the front right there. But yeah, this is kind of what we got going for the entrance right now. I'm definitely really liking it. I think there's a lot I can add to improve to this little section, so any ideas greatly appreciated. I know it doesn't look exactly like the screenshot from the show, but again, I kind of want to take some creative liberties from it, and it's going to take me a while before I can create a design to make like a Mune statue. So I didn't really I tried to attempt to do it in this episode, but I was like, I'm going to need like more time to do this, because right now I only have a couple days until this video is supposed to go up, so I don't want to rush trying to do a statue or anything like that. So that's something I want to save for later. But for now, this is what this area is looking like so far. And here's what we're looking like from the kind of wide shot angle here. Of course, the battlefield's over here. And for this episode, what I worked on was I redid the trench a little bit, and I think it looks a lot better now. I added in that piece of debris over there, and then I added in another piece of debris over here, so the battlefield now is filling out very well. I think the last thing to do is to add some sort of like crater or a crack where like a piece of artillery or a rocket or something hit. I think that's one of the last things I'll add to the battlefield for now, but that'll probably be a different episode. And then of course, right here we've got the entrance now. You can kind of see what the entrance looks like in regards to the rest of the build and the battlefield, what it kind of looks like. So I think it fits in quite well. Overall, I think it's pretty good episode. Definitely let me know your feedback in the comment section below, and we'll go ahead and go on to the outro. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. If you have any cool ideas or feedback that you want to see implemented to the MOC, just leave those in the comment section below, and I'll be reading through those and kind of seeing if I can implement any of those ideas and feedback into the build itself. So stay tuned for the next episode, where I'll probably add a little bit more to the entrance area, and then probably add a few more details to the battlefield. And then after that, I mean, we're really close to starting on the actual city itself, which is going to be challenging, but it's the part I'm looking forward to the most, is starting to create some of those awesome Muunilinst buildings. So I'm really excited for that. If you're new to the channel and you kind of just found this video in your YouTube recommendeds or your YouTube search, I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe or share or even like the video. These videos take up a lot of time during my week. Pretty much my life is essentially schoolwork, and then once I get done with schoolwork, I YouTube. I pretty much make my YouTube videos in my free time on the side while I do school. So it would mean a lot to me if you guys could just share the video or like the video or even subscribe if you guys enjoyed the content. But as always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.